Have you ever wondered why you can't remember the first years of your life? Before you turned 3, your biggest milestones happened. Yet today, they feel like they never existed. You heard your mother's voice. You learned to smile. You explored the world with endless curiosity. So why can't you remember even a single second of it? Completely different. Your baby brain was doing far more than anyone once imagined. Your first smile, your first toy, your first time seeing rain. Every tiny moment was shaping your brain. So if your brain experienced all of this, where did those memories disappear? For more than a century, scientists searched for the answer. Then, in 1905, one man gave this mystery a name that psychologists still use today: infantile amnesia. The name sounded simple, but the explanation wasn't. Many believed babies couldn't create memories at all. But decades later, a fascinating experiment would completely change that belief. For decades, many experts believed babies simply couldn't form memories. Then, in the 1980s, psychologist Carolyn Rovi Collier designed an experiment so simple that no one expected it would change our understanding of infant memory forever. The experiment was surprisingly simple. A soft ribbon was tied around the baby's ankle, connecting it to a colorful mobile hanging above the crib. At first, every movement was completely random. Then something incredible happened. The baby discovered that every kick made the mobile move. Within minutes, the random movements became intentional. The baby had learned the connection between action and result. A few days later, the babies returned. Without any instructions, many of them immediately started kicking again. Somehow, they still remembered exactly what to do. The results were impossible to ignore. Even 2-month-old babies could remember the experiment for days, while older infants remembered it for weeks. This proved that babies really can form memories. But this discovery created an even bigger mystery. If babies can create memories, why can't adults remember being babies? The answer wasn't hidden in the memories themselves. It was hidden inside the developing brain. Scientists eventually realized they were asking the wrong question. The mystery wasn't whether babies could create memories. They clearly could. The real question was why those memories couldn't survive as the brain continued to grow. The search led researchers to a small structure buried deep inside the brain called the hippocampus. Although it's no larger than a thumb, it plays one of the most important roles in memory formation. Every meaningful experience, your birthday, a conversation, or even the smell of fresh rain, passes through the hippocampus before it has a chance to become a lasting memory. In adults, the hippocampus works closely with the prefrontal cortex, organizing experiences and storing them so they can be remembered years later. But in infants, this system is still under construction. That means infant brains can create short-term memories, but many of those memories never become stable long-term memories. The brain simply hasn't finished building the pathways needed to preserve them. At first, this explanation seemed complete. But in 2014, a groundbreaking discovery revealed that brain development wasn't just preventing memories from lasting. It might actually be destroying them. In 2014, neuroscientists Sheena Jocelyn and Paul Franklin proposed a surprising idea. What if the very process that builds a baby's brain is also the reason its earliest memories disappear? Their research focused on a process called neurogenesis, the creation of brand new neurons. During the first years of life, this process happens faster than at almost any other stage of human development. These new neurons are essential for building a healthy brain, but they may come with an unexpected cost. Every time fresh neurons join existing circuits, older connections can become weaker or disappear altogether. To test this theory, researchers conducted experiments with mice. When they increased neurogenesis in adult mice, the animals forgot memories they had already learned. Then they reversed the experiment. By slowing neurogenesis in infant mice, those young mice held on to their memories much longer than expected. The results completely supported the hypothesis. The conclusion was astonishing. Your earliest memories weren't lost because your brain failed to save them. They disappeared because your rapidly developing brain kept rebuilding itself, replacing old neural connections with new ones as it grew. But even that wasn't the complete answer. Scientists realized there was another missing piece. To create an autobiographical memory, your brain needs more than just neurons. It needs a clear sense of who you are. Psychologists Mark Howe and Mary Courage argued that babies cannot build lasting autobiographical memories until they recognize themselves as separate individuals with their own identity. One famous experiment demonstrates this perfectly. Researchers placed a small red mark on a baby's nose and then showed the child a mirror to observe the reaction. Babies younger than about 18 months usually believe the reflection is another child. But older toddlers reach toward their own face, recognizing that the person in the mirror is actually them. That moment of self-recognition marks an important turning point. Without a stable sense of self, your brain has no personal story to attach experiences to, making lasting memories far more difficult to preserve. In other words, your earliest memories didn't disappear because they were meaningless. They faded because, at that stage of life, the person you know as you was still being built, one experience at a time. Even after understanding infantile amnesia, neurogenesis, and the development of the hippocampus, one final mystery remained. Why do our earliest lasting memories usually begin only after we learn to speak? Developmental psychologist Catherine Nelson believed language does far more than help us communicate. It gives our experiences a structure, allowing memories to become organized stories instead of scattered moments. Before children learn language, their world is filled with sights, sounds, emotions, and sensations. They experience everything, but without words, those experiences have no framework that helps them last. Once children begin talking with parents about past experiences, something remarkable happens. Those conversations strengthen memory formation, helping important moments remain accessible for years to come. Researchers even discovered that culture influences our earliest memories. In families where parents frequently tell stories and discuss the past, children often remember events from a younger age. Language doesn't simply describe memories, it helps build them. Every conversation, every story, and every shared experience gives your brain another reason to remember the moments that shape your life. By now, the puzzle was finally coming together. Infantile amnesia wasn't caused by a single problem. It was the result of several extraordinary processes happening inside the developing brain at exactly the same time. Your hippocampus was still developing. Neurogenesis was creating thousands of new neurons every day. Your sense of self had not fully formed, and language had not yet given your experiences a lasting structure. Each process was essential for helping your brain grow stronger. But together, they made your earliest memories incredibly fragile, leaving very little chance for them to survive into adulthood. This means your first memories were never meaningless. They played an important role in shaping your emotions, your behavior, and the way your brain understands the world, even if you can never consciously remember them. Although you cannot replay those moments like a movie, their influence never disappeared. Every smile, every hug, every sound, and every lesson quietly became part of the person you are today. The memories may have vanished from your conscious mind, but their impact never did. In many ways, your forgotten childhood still lives inside you, quietly shaping every decision you make without you ever realizing it. If your earliest experiences still influence who you are today, another question naturally follows. Why can your brain preserve some memories for life, while your very first experiences seem to disappear without a trace? Developmental psychologist Catherine Nelson believed the answer wasn't hidden inside memory alone. She argued that language itself changes the way the human brain stores personal experiences. Before children learn to speak, experiences exist mostly as sights, sounds, emotions, textures, and feelings. They are real, but without language, they have no clear structure that helps them last. As children begin speaking, something remarkable happens. Words give experiences a framework, allowing individual moments to connect into stories the brain can organize and remember. According to Catherine Nelson, language doesn't simply describe memories. It gives them a framework that helps the brain organize experiences into lasting personal memories. Without language, experiences are like loose pages scattered in the wind. Once words arrive, those pages become a story, and stories are far easier for the brain to remember. Scientists didn't stop there. They began asking another fascinating question. If language helps shape memory, could the culture you grow up in also influence how far back your earliest memories can reach? Psychologist Chi Wang discovered that the age of a person's earliest memory often depends on the culture they grow up in. Memory isn't shaped by the brain alone. It's also shaped by the stories we hear. In many Western cultures, parents naturally encourage children to talk about their experiences. They ask questions, tell stories, and help children build personal memories through everyday conversations. Among the Maori of New Zealand, storytelling is deeply connected to personal history. As a result, researchers found that many people could remember experiences from an even younger age. In some East Asian cultures, conversations about early childhood often focus less on the individual. Because of this difference, people's earliest memories may begin slightly later in life. These discoveries revealed something remarkable. The way your family speaks, the stories you hear, and the culture around you can quietly influence how far back your memory is able to reach. So, what really happened during the first years of your life? The answer isn't hidden in one single discovery. It's the result of several remarkable processes working together from the very beginning. Your hippocampus was still developing. Neurogenesis constantly rebuilt neural connections. Your sense of self hadn't fully emerged, and language had not yet given your experiences a lasting structure. It wasn't just one reason. Every one of these processes played a role in infantile amnesia, making your earliest memories almost impossible to preserve into adulthood. Every person who has ever lived shares this mystery. No matter where you were born, everyone carries a silent blank space where the earliest chapter of life should have been remembered. Your brain didn't fail to remember because it was weak or unfinished. During those early years, it was focused on something far more important, building the foundation for the person you would eventually become. The baby in your old photographs may be impossible for you to remember, but every smile, every sound, every experience helped shape the person you are today. Your earliest memories didn't simply disappear. They became part of you. Long before you could remember, your brain was becoming you.